Hey, welcome back. It's Reese here. I'm a mindset and abundance coach and founder of Yes Supply. And today I wanted to talk to you about the secret ways that we self-sabotage and how to turn it around. So as working as a mindset coach, as running my own business, of having ups and downs the whole way and tons of ups and downs my whole life, one of the things that I realized is that the majority of the time, if we don't achieve what it is that we want, it's not because somebody else has told us no or that we can't do it. Most of the time, if we're not getting what we want out of life, whether it's money, relationships, fitness goals, whatever it is, it's usually because we're sabotaging ourselves. And this is something that I've picked up from working with tons of clients and tons of students. And so I wanted to share with you some of the patterns that I see around self-sabotage, how that shows up in our life, the reasons behind it, so the root causes of it. And through going through this video, through listening, you might be able to pick up on some ways that you self-sabotage. And a lot of these I've done myself. And so the reason why I want to share it with you is because I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I have. And then at the end, I want to share with you a few tips to help you make sure that you're not self-sabotaging. So you can catch yourself if you're doing it and switch those brain patterns so you can instead focus on what it is that you want and create the life that you want. So for me, I self-sabotaged for a lot of my life. I'm not going to go into my full story. If you listen to like pretty much any podcast that I've been on, or you go to my About page, you'll know more about my full story. But essentially, after 6 years of living in an abusive household, I had such low self-worth that I didn't think that I was worthy of very much. And here's the big problem. If you don't think that you're worthy of very much, you won't go after what it is that you want. And even if there's an opportunity right in front of you to have it, because you have that internal feeling that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, that it's not safe for you to have what you want, you will self-sabotage yourself from getting it. And self-sabotage can show up in our lives in so many different ways. So the biggest one that I see, and I'm hugely guilty of it as well, is spending too much time on social media. Why? Because you're a creative being. I'm a creative being. We are capable of literally creating whatever it is that we want in our life. But when we spend too much time on social media or too much time looking at what other people are doing, or even consuming too much content on TV, we're essentially sending out a signal to the universe saying, their life, everything outside of me is more important than what's happening inside of me. And of course, from that scarcity place, you can't actually create anything. So self-sabotage shows up in that way by giving too much of your energy to outside forces rather than getting in tune and getting in touch with yourself. Also, self-sabotage can show up by rejecting opportunities. So one of the things that I first did when I was first starting businesses was, I might get an opportunity where somebody wants me to do something for them or to buy something off of me. And I say something like, no, it's okay. I'll just do it for free. And again, that's self-sabotage, because the thing is, I wanted money, I wanted to grow my business. So every time I say, no, I'll do it for free, or I'll give you a discount, I'm self-sabotaging myself from getting where it is I want to go. Another huge area that I see for self-sabotage, especially in a lot of women, is in health or fitness. When you're trying to reach a certain health goal, even if it's not losing weight, but you just want to feel good about yourself, or you want to feel good about what you're putting in your body. You want to eat healthy foods and have more energy. So a big thing that I see is people will try to live a healthier lifestyle by constricting themselves and restricting themselves, not letting themselves eat whatever it is that they want for a long period of time. And then when they're having a tough day, they're stressed out, they go and they binge. Luckily, this is something that I haven't dealt with for a very long time, but it is something that I really struggled with in my late teens. I would try to restrict and not eat anything, or I would just try to fill up on things like tea or like a lot of fluid so I didn't have to eat. But then if I was having a bad day, if I was stressed out, I would cave and eat like half a cake or something like that. So There's all these different ways that we self-sabotage. Another huge one that I see in relationships as well, and I'm guilty of this long ago in the past. I've been with my husband for a very long time before we got married, so I didn't have to deal with that for a long time. But I remember in relationships too, getting in a relationship and then worrying, what if this doesn't work out? What if they don't actually like me? This is too good to be true. And then sabotaging something, maybe assuming the worst in someone, or looking for problems, or even creating problems, creating fights, to the point that the relationship doesn't work out. And so the negative expectation that you have of that relationship, or of increasing your money or fitness or whatever it is, that negative expectation actually creates the negative outcome. So there's a lot of reasons why self-sabotage could happen, but one of the big ones is the gray area. So this is something that I talk about in the Yes Supply method, but the gray area is essentially our comfort zone. So if you're setting a goal that's an away motivated goal rather than a toward motivated goal, chances are you're going to stay in the gray area. So what does that mean? Most people set a goal that is an away motivated goal. So an away motivated goal sounds like, I don't want X. So I don't want to work at the shitty job anymore. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be with a bad partner anymore. Whatever. If the person is only thinking about what they don't want. I don't want to make less than $2,000 a month, whatever that is. So that's an away motivated goal. There's also toward motivated goals. And those are the types of goals that we actually want to set. So a toward motivated goal sounds like, I want to look like this, or I want to be in a healthy relationship with a partner who spends time with me, or I want to make $50,000 a month, right? It's toward motivated. Now, what happens is, if you set an away motivated goal, so we see this at the beginning of every single year on New Year's, everyone says, I don't want to be overweight anymore, and they set their New Year's resolution to lose X amount of weight. What happens is they say, okay, I'm going to do all these different things. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to get these new sweatpants. I'm going to not eat sugar. And that lasts for about 2 weeks, and then they fall off the wagon because they're trying to run away from something. But because our subconscious mind can only really picture the picture that we have in our mind, it's gonna bring us back to that, especially if you're only trying to change behaviors, what you're doing, rather than changing who you are on the identity level, which is where the real change, the lasting change, the permanent change occurs. And so that's a huge reason why people will self-sabotage, because they might for a few weeks be extra healthy, or for a few weeks make some extra money, or for a few weeks they might go on dates with people who are a better fit for them. But eventually, because they're thinking about what they don't want, they'll slide back right into the place that holds what they don't want. So that's one of the biggest ways that I've seen self-sabotage show up in most people, and that's why personal development is so important. Now, another big reason that people self-sabotage is because as humans, we are designed to survive, and we're designed to keep ourselves safe. And so in the world that we live in, we are taught that so many things that are synonymous with success are actually not safe. So think about if you were growing up and you watched on TV that there was the popular girl, but everybody hated her. Or there was the rich person, but people were jealous of them and they stole from them. Or you might have even seen your parents, somebody drives by in a Ferrari and your parents like, oh my God, that person's filthy rich. All of those things that you saw from a young age in the media, from your parents, from your teachers, whatever, they went into your subconscious mind and they taught you it's not safe for me to be successful because people won't like me. They'll take things from me. They'll be jealous of me. I'll lose love. And so if you have a subconscious belief that when you're successful, you're going to jeopardize the most important relationships in your life, you will actually play small to fit into the box of expectation that everybody else has on you. And the big problem is you probably don't even realize you're doing it. I didn't realize that I was doing this for a long time. I was playing small to fit into a little tiny box so that I didn't have to face confrontation. I would be afraid to ask for my worth or ask for what I deserved in my friendships and relationships because I was afraid of potentially losing that person. And through doing personal development, I realized that I have one life to live. This is my one life to live. And I can't play small just to fit into the box that other people are creating for me. This is my one life, and it's up to me to create what it is that I want. And I want to create a box or a triangle or a pentagon or a star. Actually, I want to create a star. I want to create a star that's so beautiful, that feels like me, that feels unique to me, that feels like I'm doing exactly what it is that I want to do. And if all those people who don't get it want to come in my star and hang out and grow with me and see how much fun it can be to be creative and to live the life that you want and to try new things and to get outside that box, they're welcome to join me in my star. And for the people who don't want to be there and they want to judge or talk about me behind my back or whatever it is, they can stay in their box. You know, I'm not here to control other people, but at the same time, we want to make sure that if we have big dreams, we're not letting other people control us either. So I want to talk to you about some of the ways that self-sabotage might be showing up in your life. And at the end of the day, whether it's happening in your relationships, in your money, in your fitness, in whatever it is, no matter what area of life it's coming up in, it all stems from a deeper limiting belief or limiting identity. And when you release that, you can feel more free and more like yourself. And I'm going to talk to you about how to do that at the end of the video as well. So here are a few of the root causes and core beliefs that can often make you self-sabotage. So the first one is fear of being too good and what comes along with that. So I can think of one client I had who, when she was younger, she was in a sport. I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to give it away, right? It's a private client. But she was in a certain sport and she was better than all of her friends. And so she got promoted or like brought up to the next level with the older kids. And what happened was when she got to go to the next level with the older kids, because she was better at that specific sport, she felt alone, she felt ostracized because she was no longer with her friends. And so it was at that young age that she learned, hey, if I'm better than people at something, if I'm really good at something, I'm going to lose love. I'm going to lose my friends. And so it was the pain that she felt as a child that for the entire rest of her life, until she worked with me, she was self-sabotaging and playing small. And I remember working with her and being like, she's so smart and she knows like so many things about online business and making money, How come she's not hitting the goals that she wanted? And it's because she was self-sabotaging so that she didn't lose love from her friends and her boyfriend. So it's a good idea to ask yourself, is this coming up for me? Am I playing small because I'm afraid to lose love from my partner, from my mom, from my friends, from my family, right? I've seen in the past clients who are playing small because they don't want their mom to become jealous of them if they surpass them, right? And this is something that we have to work through because of course you don't want to lose love from your mom, but you want the things that you want, and you have to work through that subconscious reprogramming to believe that you can have what you want without losing love from the people that you care about. Another root cause or core belief that might be causing you to self-sabotage could be the belief that if you have something, people will be jealous of you or they'll hate you. So this is one that I had that was really, really deep. I'm still working through it on some level because I still feel very hesitant and very uncomfortable and awkward when I celebrate my successes. Like if I celebrate that I earned a certain amount of money or I got a new car or I got a new nice piece of jewelry, I still feel awkward celebrating how excited I am because of this core belief, and I've done a lot of work on it. But one way that I did work on it is actually going into my subconscious mind, and in a past life, what I found was the reason why in this lifetime I would get so nervous about celebrating my success is because in a past life, this is something that I did through a technique that we teach in the Yes Apply method. In a past life, I went back And I think it must have been like the time of the Depression or something like that. There was like a war or something like that. And I showed up at school with a new dress and I got beat up by everyone because at the time there was a depression, people didn't have money. And so me showing up with a new dress angered everybody. And so because that happened and that memory was stored deep in my subconscious, maybe deep in my DNA, in this lifetime, it's still tricky for me or hard for me to show up in my quote unquote new dress because there's that fear of being hurt because of it. A lot of people deal with witch wounds as well, where you're afraid of showing your gifts, right? Maybe you're a healer or you want to be a coach or a speaker. You have a gift, a natural talent that can help people so deeply. But in a past life or past generation, you are essentially burned at the stake for using your powers. And so, of course, in this lifetime, using your powers is synonymous with death. And so, of course, you will close yourself off from sharing the powerful gifts that you have. And so that's something that we want to release so you can heal those past generations and really become the fullest version of you in this lifetime as well. Another big one that comes up for so many people is not doing something because it's not perfect. So maybe you want to start a YouTube or start growing on Instagram or launch a website or launch a podcast, whatever it is. You have this fire inside your heart to start something that you know will be fun, that you know will help you be creative, and that might lead you on your path to what you're meant to do while you're here on this planet. But there's that fear inside of your head. What if it's not perfect? And again, that stems from a lot of different things. One of the big ones, I think, is in school, we're taught to live up to a certain person's standards that's outside of ourselves. So we're taught literally from JK to we're 18, or if you went to university, even older, that whatever you do, it needs to live up to someone external of you standards. And if you don't meet that, you essentially get embarrassed. You get a D, or you don't pass, you fail, da 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 da. And I think that's such a backwards way of thinking, because what if instead you asked yourself before creating something, instead of asking what will everyone else think, you asked yourself, what do I think? How do I feel about what I'm creating? Can I create something that I'm really proud of? And that be your measure of success rather than everybody else. Also, too, there's those core beliefs of if it's not perfect, I'm going to get rejected, I'm going to be embarrassed, I'm going to be laughed at. As humans, in our core essence, we want to survive, and we're tribal beings. And so it's deeply ingrained in us that if we're ostracized from the tribe, we're not going to survive. And so embarrassment, rejection, all of that, the sensation that fills our body when we're faced with that often feels as scary as death. It's very, very stressful. And so that's why oftentimes we avoid doing something new, because we don't want to face that fear of rejection. So let me know if any of this is resonating with you, or if you've ever felt like this, or if you're dealing with some of these areas of self-sabotage in your life. I can tell you I have dealt with most of them, and for some of them, I'm still working through them every single day. And that's why doing the work on ourselves is so important. So if you're ready to do the work on yourself, I want to share with you some tips to help you turn it around so that you can stop self-sabotaging and instead step into the person who you're meant to be and feel fully happy, allowing yourself to be creative and doing the things that you want without sabotaging, and instead say yes to yourself rather than continuing to say no to yourself all the time. So one of the first things is getting clear on what you want. Now, I know for a lot of you, you might be saying, I don't know what I want. And guess what? I don't always know what I want either. But I love the saying, take the first step and the path will appear. So back when I was starting Yes Supply, I never knew that in a few years I would have a coaching certification. I never knew that I would teach neuro-linguistic programming or hypnosis. I didn't even know what these things were. But back then I knew that I was working at a job that I didn't really like, that I wanted to do something that was creative and impactful, and I wanted to essentially be proud of myself and do something that really mattered. And so my first step was just being creative. It was just starting a blog just to see what happened. It was just making a post just to see how I felt doing it and giving myself a creative outlet. And so that might be all it is for you. Just give yourself a creative outlet. Let go of expectation. You might need to know exactly what you want for the rest of your life, because when you take that first step, the path will appear. But what you can know, what you can ask yourself is, what feels better than what I'm doing now, okay? And take away the expectation if that makes it easy for you. So if you're putting a lot of pressure of like, oh my gosh, what if I make this YouTube and nobody watches it? Or what if I don't make money from it? Release that expectation and just do something that you get to be creative, that you get to be you, because it is truly, it sounds cheesy, but it is truly when you allow yourself to be you, that it actually is more successful because of it. So that is, get clear on what it is that you want, or clearer on what it is that you want. Next, think about this. If you had what you wanted, who would that person be? So what would the characteristics of that person be? Would you be bold? Would you be creative? What would you wear? How would you dress? How would you feel about yourself? How would you talk to people? Whoever that person is, give yourself permission to embody that now, because I'm willing to bet that all those characteristics live inside of you right now. You're just not giving yourself permission to be that person. So say what's on your mind, be more outspoken, let yourself be creative. Yes, maybe you always used to be X type of person, but as humans, we grow. You're allowed to change, you're allowed to evolve, and you're allowed to step into this new version of you that you want to be. Step 3 is remember that there's literally no such thing as perfect. Perfect is completely subjective. To one person, something might be perfect, and to another person, something might be awful. For example, one person might love matcha lattes and another person thinks that they're gross. It doesn't mean that it's not perfect or it is perfect. A matcha latte is a matcha latte. So just ask yourself, what flavor of latte am I? And go out and be that latte. Be the best latte that you can possibly be. And some people will like it, some people won't, but as long as you are your favorite flavor, that is all that matters. And that brings me on to my next point, which is beginning to trust that you will be accepted for being exactly who you are. So I dealt with a lot of fear around being accepted as I stepped into being the person who I used to be, into being the founder of a company called Yes Supply, or a company like Yes Supply, right? Because I had never done anything in personal development before. But what I realized was this was the person who I was becoming. These are the things that I wanted to do. And if I didn't accept myself, who was going to accept me? And if I played small so that other people would accept me, then I essentially wasn't accepting myself. So what you have to do is ask yourself, who am I really? Who do I want to be? Give yourself permission to be that person, and the right people will come on the path with you, and the wrong people, they're missing out because you're absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you loved this video, and I hope that it helped you bring some awareness maybe to some ways that you're self-sabotaging. So let me know in the comments, what's one thing that you're gonna do to help you banish self-sabotage today? I wanna hear it. If you like this video and you wanna see more videos from me, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you get notified when I come out with new videos. And again, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to learn more about turning personal development and mindset work into your career, join me on my free masterclass where I show you 5 steps to becoming a successful mindset and manifestation coach. You can check out my masterclass at yesapply.co/coach masterclass. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you soon. Mwah.